Carlesha is coming home.
Carlesha Freeland has been rescued.
Found alive almost 72 hours after she was grabbed off the street in Philadelphia. Tonight, her mom is headed to the hospital for an emotional reunion.
I'm taking my baby home. Thank you.
They got a very dangerous predator off the streets.
Tonight, we look into the suspect's criminal past and hear from his uncle.
From Philadelphia to Jessup, Maryland, we have a team of 7 reporters covering every angle of this story.
Good evening, I'm Jacqueline London.
And I'm Jim Rosenfield, and we start with the rescue of a young woman grabbed off the streets of Philadelphia. The abduction Sunday captured on surveillance cameras at the corner of West Coulter and Green Streets in Germantown. Tonight, law enforcement officers spotted the suspect's car more than 100 miles away and arrested him in a parking lot in Jessup, Maryland.
Here's a look at the suspect, Delvin Barnes. Police say it was a random kidnapping. Our team of reporters has been working this story from Philadelphia to Maryland for days. And tonight, they are spread out at all the key locations. We begin at Northwest Detectives with NBC 10's Nefertiti Jacquez. Nefertiti.
Well, Jacqueline, the family and police say they always knew there was a possibility that Carlesha wouldn't come home, but they always held out hope. And tonight, you could tell by the smiles on the faces of the detectives who work here at Northwest Detectives, who work this case very hard. This ending was a special one.
Tonight, the FBI and the Philadelphia Police Department have great news that Carlesha Freeland has been rescued. Her abductor has been arrested.
3 days after she was kidnapped off a Germantown street, Carlesha Freeland Gaither has been found alive, and the man agents found her with was arrested.
This individual is off the streets, and no one else is in danger right now because we got a very dangerous predator off the streets.
The suspect is Delvin Barnes. Police say they nabbed the 37-year-old in Jessup, Maryland. They say they rescued Carlesha from her alleged kidnapper along the side of the road after receiving a bunch of tips. We're told the two were in the same car he used when he snatched her off of West Coulter Street on Sunday night and threw her in the back of his vehicle.
Everybody, thank you so much for having us in your prayers. Thank you for keeping me up. Thank you for being there for us. I'm taking my baby home.
With a big smile on her face, the victim's mother, Keisha Gaither, thanked law enforcement and the public for her daughter's safe return. Meantime, we're learning the suspect is no stranger to the law. Court records show he's a convicted felon who was recently released from prison.
He's a vicious predator. He's off the streets, and hopefully he'll be in jail for the rest of his life. That's the only thing he deserves.
And tonight, police made it clear this is still an ongoing investigation, so many of the details did not come out today. They say for now, the motive is still unclear. We're live outside of Northwest Detectives. Nefertiti Jacquez, NBC 10 News.
Tonight, our crews are on the ground and in the air in Jessup, Maryland, where the FBI rescued Carlesha.
Investigators spotted the car they were looking for in a parking lot late this afternoon, and tonight they put it on a flatbed. Our live team coverage continues in Maryland, where tonight we've learned ATF agents played a role. They held a news conference a short time ago.
NBC 10's Tim Furlong joins us live from Jessup. Tim, what did agents have to say?
They are feeling very good about what happened here tonight. Everybody worked together well. Here's how it all went down. This guy, the suspect, he was wanted on a warrant out of Southern Virginia. A tip came into the Richmond ATF office that the car was here. They called the Maryland guy, said get over there right away. They did get over there right away, and they got their man. They might have saved Carlesha's life.
He was more surprised than anything, I think.
Delvin Barnes never saw it coming. ATF agents got here fast and saw the car they knew Philly police were looking for. They saw a man and a woman in the back seat. They say Barnes saw them and climbed up into the driver's seat.
The agents at that point moved in, utilized one of their vehicles to block him, to prevent him from leaving the parking area. The woman was very relieved that law enforcement was on scene, and once she had the time to process what had occurred, you could tell she was very emotionally distraught.
NBC 10 has learned Carlesha had yelled to the agents that she was the woman abducted in Philly. They say Barnes calmly just gave up at that point. Agents didn't find any guns in his car, just an emotional victim. They took her to the hospital as a precaution. Inside the cigar bar, the regulars had just seen the video of Carlesha's abduction. They looked outside and saw a major crime scene. Then their cell phones started buzzing.
Everything was popping up that it was solved, but I had no idea it was being solved right here outside of the door.
Yeah, right outside of the door, right back there. And that ATF agent, you saw him there, he was giddy talking about this tonight, about how law enforcement work together. He said no matter what badge or what vest you wear, you're all cops at heart. He said this one felt really, really good. We're live in Jessup, Maryland tonight. Tim Furlong, NBC 10 News.
Carlesha's family describes what they're feeling as beyond happy. They say she is a strong woman, and they never lost hope, and neither did investigators. Overwhelmed and overjoyed.
I want to dance. I want to scream.
The family of Carlesha Freeland Gaither gathered at Northwest Detectives, saying their prayers have been answered with Carlesha's safe return.
I was just elated. I was just very happy that they found my granddaughter alive.
This thing went viral to help my niece get back home, and we appreciate everybody, the FBI, the cops, anybody that had an involvement in this.
Good job.
At tonight's news conference, an embrace between Carlesha's mother and Detective Jim Sloan, one of the investigators on the case, who made her a promise.
He sat in my kitchen in front of me and told me, I'm bringing your daughter home. I'm bringing your daughter home. I said, all right. He said, no, I'm bringing your daughter home. And he brought my baby home.
The Germantown street where Carlesha was abducted became the site of celebration tonight. As word spread, she was found alive.
I thought it was going to be some bad news, you know, but God is good.
Sadness turned to joy, and now the race to reunite with Carlesha and bring her home.
That's all I really care about right now, is just getting to see my daughter.
And that time is almost here. And now to my colleague George Spencer, who's down in Columbia, Maryland, at the hospital where Carlesha's mother is expected any minute now. George?
35 minutes from now, we're expecting a caravan of some 15 family members arrive here at the hospital to reunite with the young woman they haven't seen since last weekend. Federal agents rescued her about 10 miles from the hospital. She did not appear to have any serious visible injuries. Between her rescue and her arrival at the hospital, though, Carlesha spoke by phone to her mother and told her mom how she felt.
She was very upset. She was crying, and she just was asking for me. Tell me she loved me, she missed me, come get her.
What did you say to her?
I'm going to get my daughter. I'm going to get my baby.
We now know that a bag of potato chips may have helped investigators break this case open. They say the suspect, Barnes, bought the chips inside an Acme supermarket in North Philadelphia Sunday. This is surveillance video from inside that store. A woman told us she later found the discarded bag along with the Acme receipt outside her home in Maryland. Tonight, NBC 10's Deanna Durante talked to that woman and shows us how trash may have helped police on the case.
It was early Monday morning along this rural northern Maryland road when a woman says she was leaving her home and she spotted in her driveway what appeared to be a small bag. Inside she looked, she said she thought it was just trash, and next to the bag a pile of broken glass. She says she didn't think much of it, even threw away the bag, until Tuesday night when she called Maryland State Police to tell them what she had found. This is after she had heard about the kidnapping and thought that glass could have been from the back window of a car. She says many FBI agents, about 20 of them, came to her home and began looking for clues. She didn't tell us what she found in the bag other than what she thought were food wrappers. However, police sources tell us inside that bag a receipt that led them to a Northeast Philadelphia Acme.
What do we know about Delvin Barnes, the suspect now in custody? Police say he has a violent criminal past. We immediately started digging into court documents about current charges he faces and his past. NBC 10's Rosemary Connors joins us live from the Digital Operations Center. And Rosemary, you tracked down the suspect's family members tonight.
That's right, Jacqueline. I spoke to the suspect's uncle, Lamar Barnes, and he tells me that Delvin was raised by good parents, that his father was a minister. The uncle says that he is disturbed by the allegations and has these words for his nephew.
I tell him he's wrong, and, you know, if he was somebody I didn't know, I would say they should, whatever they do to him is fine. Well, he's my nephew, the same thing. What am I going to do? It's just hard for me to accept the viciousness of it. Not necessarily surprised. You know, some men grow up having problems with women, so they take it out on women. Apparently he's one of them.
The uncle has seen this video of the attack on Carlesha and says that he's glad she's safe. He and I also talked about his nephew's aggravated assault conviction in 2006. Delvin Barnes served time and lived near family in Virginia after he was released. The uncle tells me those charges were brought by the mother of Barnes's child. He has a daughter. Now, Delvin Barnes is also currently accused of attempted capital murder in Virginia. The uncle says that Delvin Barnes was a troubled boy despite his parents' efforts to create a loving home for him and his sister. Reporting live in the Digital Operations Center, I'm Rosemary Connors, NBC 10 News.
And there is still much to learn about this crime. NBC 10 is committed to staying on top of this breaking story on the air, online, and on social media.